How do you feel about all the critical acclaim surrounding the film?
I think you work so hard on a movie, and it's such a, you know, it's like summer camp on steroids. You just fall in love with all these people, and in this case, I really, you know, I feel protective of Lee and Jack and their story. And when you feel like, and you start hearing from people that they're really connecting to the film, it's all you can really hope for. And I personally, I think more people knowing who Lee Israel was, picking up her books, reading and finding out what an amazing writer she was, is really exciting to me. That means the most to me.
Congratulations on the film. I just wondered what kind of drew you to this story and this kind of amazing friendship that these two characters had.
Because they're so at odds, and on paper you think these two people would never be friends, and yet they are, and it's a true story. And she's lesbian, he's gay, and he's got living with a ticking time bomb of being HIV positive, and then you see that he dies at the end of the story, or just almost at the end of the story. So that lends an enormous, when you're playing it, sort of poignancy and undertone, knowing that this is what is ahead, and that informs his hedonism and just living the day for the today, because tomorrow may never come.
You must be delighted, not only had a great reception in Toronto, but now to bring it to the London Film Festival.
Yeah.
I mean, you must be delighted with the reception so far.
Yeah, it's been an unbelievable reception. We knew that the film would garner a lot of attention because the performances are so fantastic, and we were hopeful that the story of a woman who is nuanced and authentic and a bit complicated would resonate. But I think we're overwhelmed by how much love and attention the story is getting, and certainly well deserved for our talented actors.
Yeah. When did kind of Lee's story come into your life as a producer, and how did you kind of get involved in the process? So
my producing partner Anne actually optioned the story 10 years ago, just over 10 years ago now, and Anne and I met not that long after, about a sort of year and a half later, and she came to me and we were just meeting over coffee and trying to talk about doing things together, and she said, you know, I've got this one thing that might be interesting to you. It's about an aging woman with a cat who has fallen on hard times and turns to a life of crime to make ends meet. What do you think? And I said, hey, sign me up. That sounds like a real winner. Let's go for it. And I read the script, and it was just so fantastic and different, and I loved the idea of telling the story of a woman who wouldn't otherwise have that much attention, and I think that's important, right? You know, we forget how many women are amongst us every day, and Lee is a perfect example of something that I probably while I was in New York during that time walked amongst and never noticed her, and never kind of paid attention to what might be happening on her life, and I just think it was an important story to tell. It was a challenging story to tell, but one that with the talented writers and filmmakers and talent that we pulled together, I think really had it come to life in the best possible way.
Yeah. Let me just ask you about casting Melissa. I mean, she's known for these funny roles, these big, larger-than-life performances, and then this is very different. I mean, why was she perfect for this, and why did you kind of gravitate to her?
Yeah, Melissa, we were in a really unique position as producers. So we had cast her husband Ben in a previous incarnation of the production, and so Ben had the script, and he shared it with Melissa, and in that process she became enamored with Lee and her story, and reached out to us and asked if we would consider her, and that, you know, doesn't happen often, and we were the luckiest team ever to have that occur. Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching Hey You Guys!
Hey You Guys, huh?
Hey You Guys.
Is that from the Goonies?
It is indeed, yeah.
Nice.
Hey You Guys!